It is so unique, Jim. Tiny tracks found.
Scientists have uncovered something truly astonishing deep in the Grand Canyon, a mysterious doorway that has left experts baffled. From casual sighting of a mysterious door in the Grand Canyon while scanning Google Earth,
So I pulled up my GPS to confirm, and sure enough,
to the remains of a prehistoric creature that you'd mistake for a bear if you saw its skeletal frame, today we're diving into the most intriguing details about this newfound doorway and the secrets it might hold. 1. Ancient doorway in Grand Canyon, spotted on Google Earth. You'd think the Grand Canyon had given up all its secrets by now, but nope, it just hit us with a plot twist straight out of a sci-fi movie. In a bizarre twist of events, Wayne Wells, while casually scanning Google Earth, stumbled upon what looks like an ancient, mysterious doorway nestled within this iconic U.S. landmark, roughly 250 miles away from the neon lights of Las Vegas. This isn't just any old rock formation. It sparked a wild mix of theories ranging from lost Egyptian relics to Martian gateways. The plot thickens as some enthusiasts, Wayne included, lean towards an Egyptian angle. Could the ruins be remnants of a time when pharaohs roamed wider than we thought? Meanwhile, others are placing their bets on extraterrestrial architects, Martians perhaps. The buzz has gotten so loud that there's chatter about sending drones to dive deeper into this enigma. The story takes an even more intriguing turn thanks to Dina de Cortez, who's woven a compelling tale connecting this site to none other than Cleopatra's son. Legend has it, he bolted with a hefty stash of gold, possibly finding a secretive nook in the Grand Canyon to hide away. We're talking about an ancient treasure lurking in the heart of America. Adding his voice to the chorus, Brad Olson, a best-selling author and familiar face on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens, couldn't hide his excitement about the discovery near Point Imperial. He's seen some weird stuff, but this? It's off the charts. As if that wasn't enough to keep our imaginations running wild, another curiosity surfaces on Google Maps. A mysterious plane crash in the dusty reaches of Death Valley National Park, California, close to crucial military zones like the U.S. Naval Air Weapons Station and China Lake Airport. Sharp-eyed Reddit users pinpointed the wreckage as an FJ-2 Fury, a fighter jet that bowed out of service in 1962, identified by its distinctive rounded wingtips. While the practical minds among us think the jet might have been a military target practice relic, others aren't buying it. They're calling alien foul play, tying the unexplained crash to our Grand Canyon mystery. This blend of ancient whispers and modern mysteries continues to fuel heated debates and wild theories. With ruins that might rewrite history and crash sites possibly pointing to otherworldly visitors, we're left wondering, what other secrets are hiding in America's vast, wild spaces? Ready for the next wild case? How about discovering 310-million-year-old footprints in the Grand Canyon? 2. UNLV professor researching 310-million-year-old footprints discovered in the Grand Canyon. Recently, a walk along the Bright Angel Trail in the Grand Canyon took a historic turn when Dr. Steve Rowland, a geology professor from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and his colleague made an extraordinary find. They discovered fossilized reptile prints that are not just old but ancient, predating dinosaurs by a whopping 100 million years. These tiny tracks, all 28 of them, were etched into stone about 310 million years ago. They tell the story of a creature about the size of a small alligator wandering across moist sand, which later hardened under a blanket of dry sand blown over it. Fast forward through time, and a fallen rock from a cliff along the trail cracks open to reveal these prehistoric secrets. It's like unwrapping a gift from the deep past, right there on the hiking path. With a detective's eye, Dr. Rowland noticed something unusual about how this ancient reptile walked. The tracks showed a peculiar gait, which he speculated might have been caused by a strong wind pushing against the creature, or perhaps it was engaged in some sort of mating dance or territorial display. Intriguingly, none of the footprints overlapped, a testament to the creature's careful steps or dance moves. To get a clearer picture of the reptile's stroll, Dr. Rowland turned to color-coding each footprint: green, red, yellow, and blue. This rainbow of clues helped him deduce the movements of those very narrow, probably clawed digits. His analysis is painting a picture of life long before humans, or even dinosaurs, roamed the earth. Dr. Rowland is now hard at work comparing these footprints with others found around the world. His findings could place these tracks among the earliest reptile footprints discovered globally. The significance? Massive. Not every day you find evidence that turns the page back by millions of years on the calendar of life. He's planning to publish his research in a peer-reviewed journal and hopes to eventually display these prints in a museum. Imagine walking through the Grand Canyon and seeing the tracks displayed, a tangible link to our planet's distant past. And speaking of uncovering the past, how does this next case sound? Cave of the Domes. 3. Cave of the Domes. Well, isn't it fascinating how sometimes curiosity leads to unexpected discoveries? Take the Grand Canyon's Cave of the Domes, for example. Nestled near Horseshoe Mesa, this cavern holds the distinction of being the only cave in Grand Canyon National Park that the public can explore without a special permit. In the 1890s, during the feverish days of the mining boom, miners weren't just digging for gold or copper, but also uncovering secrets of the natural world. While prospecting for valuable minerals, these intrepid explorers stumbled upon the entrance to what would become known as the Cave of the Domes. Realizing its potential allure, they started guiding tourists through its underground marvels, highlighting stunning formations that nature took millennia to sculpt. Accessing this subterranean wonder requires a trek down the Grandview Trail. This historic path, which was carved out by miner Pete Berry in 1893 to haul ore from his last chance mine, winds down about 2,500 feet over 3 miles to Horseshoe Mesa. From there, a side trail leads adventurers right to the cave's entrance on the mesa's western flank. Inside, the cave doesn't disappoint. It's a treasure trove of geological wonders with stalactites, stalagmites, and flowstones adorning its interior. The cave gets its name from the dome-shaped chambers that dominate the landscape, creating a surreal backdrop that feels like stepping into another world. But with such beauty comes responsibility. The delicate ecosystem inside means visitors need to tread lightly, adhering strictly to leave no trace principles to keep this natural gem pristine. But it's not all smooth spelunking. In March 2016, the Cave of the Domes was the center of a health scare. It was temporarily shut down due to concerns over potential exposure to hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, a serious respiratory disease. After extensive testing, however, the National Park Service gave the all-clear in May 2016, confirming the cave wasn't a source of the virus and reopening it to the public. This close call serves as a stark reminder of the importance of safety measures in such fragile environments. But let me tell you, there seems to be another intrigue in the Grand Canyon that continues to buzz among scientists. Well, not to keep you in the dark for too long, it's the uranium mine nearby. 4. Uranium mine near the Grand Canyon draws outrage from Havasupai tribe. Back in the 1980s, a notable discovery near the Grand Canyon shook things up. A substantial uranium deposit that led to the birth of the Pinyon Plain Mine, formerly known as Canyon Mine. This gem was unearthed on the Kaibab National Forest land, a hop, skip, and a jump away from Red Butte, a mountain sacred to the Havasupai tribe. The Havasupai, known as the People of the Blue-Green Waters, have long revered this area, not just for its breathtaking vistas, but for its deep spiritual significance. Red Butte, or Wii-Gdwisa, as they call it, is a hotspot for their ceremonies and traditional rituals. So you can imagine the uproar when mining gears started turning right in their spiritual backyard. The plot thickened in 1984, when Energy Fuels Resources threw their hat in the ring with plans to tap into that uranium gold mine. Despite pushback from the Havasupai and green groups galore, the U.S. Forest Service gave the green light in 1986. Drills started buzzing, and the legal battles kicked off, culminating in an appeals court nod in 1991 that said, "Mine away." The mine's allure ebbed and flowed with the whims of uranium prices, lying dormant until 2007, when a spike in demand kicked things into high gear. This sparked a mad dash for mining claims, triggering alarm bells for conservationists and tribe members alike. In a bold move, then U.S. Secretary of the Interior, Ken Salazar, slapped a 20-year freeze on new mining claims around the Grand Canyon in 2012, aiming to shield its precious resources. But here's the kicker. Pinyon Plain Mine, with its pre-existing rights, kept on trucking. Fast forward to December 2023, and boom, uranium production is in full swing. This has the Havasupai tribe and environmentalists biting their nails over potential threats to the Redwall Muav aquifer, a lifeline for both the tribe and the Grand Canyon flora and fauna. The Havasupai haven't been shy about their dismay. Carletta Tuluzzi, a tribe member, voices a poignant reminder of the past, woes linked to uranium, reinforcing their stance against the mine. In a display of unity and resolve, about 250 protesters, including Havasupai and Lakota tribe members, rallied at Red Butte in August 2024. They're not just waving signs, they're calling on the big shots, governors and President Biden himself, to put an end to the mining madness. As this drama unfolds, it echoes other tales where the rush for resources clashes with cultural preservation and environmental integrity. With such a complex web of interests, one has to wonder, what does this next case sound like? 5. Pictographs and petroglyphs in Grand Canyon. Back in the 1920s, Harold S. Colton, not just any archaeologist but the founder of the Museum of Northern Arizona, really got the ball rolling on documenting these historical gems. His pioneering work shone a spotlight on numerous petroglyph sites throughout the canyon, making it clear that these weren't just random carvings. Created by etching into rock with tools made of bones or stones, these images depicted a whole catalog of animals, human figures, and abstract symbols. Imagine the Grand Canyon as a prehistoric Facebook wall where every etching tells a story or sends a spiritual memo. Take, for example, the Nampawheat petroglyphs in what's now the Grand Canyon Parashant National Monument, also nicknamed Footprint Canyon. This site is nothing short of a rock art extravaganza, featuring over 1,000 carvings that include everything from deer to snakes and human handprints. Thought to have been crafted over 1,000 years ago by the ancestral Puebloans, researchers believe this spot was like a community bulletin board, marking important events or offering guidance to those navigating the tricky terrain. Then there's the difference between petroglyphs and pictographs. While the former are carved, the latter are painted. Along the Bright Angel Trail, for instance, pictographs painted with natural pigments in hues of red and white ochre still cling to the rocks, resilient through the centuries. These images, featuring animals and symbolic shapes, are like whispers from the past, sharing snippets of the spiritual and artistic expressions of those who once roamed these lands. And we can't overlook the Shaman's Gallery, a real hidden gem discovered in a secluded canyon in the 1980s. Here, the walls are adorned with intricate, multicolored figures painted with such detail they almost leap off the rock. Some researchers interpret these vibrant figures as representations of shamanistic visions or ceremonial tales, painted by those who might have experienced otherworldly journeys. Whether as a communication tool or a spiritual archive, these ancient artworks provide an invaluable connection to the past, proving that human creativity knew no bounds even in places as wild as the Grand Canyon. It's fascinating, isn't it? 6. The Great Unconformity. Did you know there's a massive puzzle hidden in its depths, known as the Great Unconformity? For instance, you're flipping through a history book when suddenly you notice a whole chunk of pages, up to 1.2 billion years worth, are just missing. That's exactly what's happening with the rock layers in the Grand Canyon. Back in 1869, John Wesley Powell, a bold explorer, navigated the twists and turns of the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Amidst his awe-inspiring journey, he stumbled upon a geological oddity, younger rocks resting directly on ancient ones, with no transitional layers in between. This was the first time someone had laid eyes on the Great Unconformity. Since Powell's discovery, scientists have been scratching their heads over this chronological jigsaw puzzle. Why is there such a massive gap in the Earth's historical record? The theories are as varied as they are fascinating. Some scientists suggest ancient glaciers might have scraped these layers away. Others think it could be the work of supercontinents, the enormous landmasses comprising multiple continents breaking apart. Fast forward to 2021, and a team of sharp minds from the University of Colorado Boulder took a deep dive into the canyon's geological story. They weren't just there for the views. They were on a mission to unlock the secrets of these rocks. Employing cutting-edge techniques, they dated the exposure and burial times of the rocks, piecing together a story of erosion that likely occurred around 700 million years ago, during the breakup of a supercontinent named Rodinia. This revelation adds a piece to the puzzle of the Grand Canyon and opens up a whole new chapter in understanding our planet's dynamic history. Just think, what other secrets are hidden beneath the surface, waiting for their turn to be discovered? Speaking of discoveries, the hidden waterfalls in the Grand Canyon are another fascinating aspect to check out. 7. Hidden waterfalls. Oh, the things you stumble upon when you least expect it. Take Elves Chasm in the Grand Canyon, for example. This little slice of paradise, with its cascading waterfall and crystal-clear pool, feels like something straight out of a fairy tale. But getting there, that's no easy feat. It requires a tricky 1.5-mile scramble from the Colorado River, revealed to the masses through daring river rafting expeditions, navigating the Colorado's intricate pathways. The journey to this tranquil haven, absolutely worth every step. Not far from there, Ribbon Falls offers its own brand of magic. Nestled just off the North Kaibab Trail, this spring-fed waterfall dances over a travertine dome, draping a lush, green veil against the stark, arid canyon. If you're tackling the rim-to-rim hike, you're in for a treat, as this spot has become a beloved pause for weary hikers craving a glimpse of the canyon's lesser-known treasures. Then there's the crown jewel, Havasu Falls, tucked away on the Havasupai Indian Reservation. We're talking about turquoise waters making a dramatic plunge over red rock cliffs to create enchanting pools below. It's no wonder the Havasupai, meaning people of the blue-green waters, fiercely protect this land. Earning the view isn't easy though. It takes a 10-mile hike and a permit. But the payoff? Simply breathtaking. These hidden waterfalls, unveiled by explorers, hikers, and the native communities who've long cherished these wonders, weave a richer narrative of the Grand Canyon's vast ecosystems and the serene allure hidden within its formidable landscapes. This place feels like a perfect escape after such a hectic work schedule. I wouldn't mind taking a drive to the Grand Canyon and actually locating this waterfall. How about you? But if you have other mischievous plans, that's not your go-to option. Or are you also thinking of exploring further in the Grand Canyon? If so, then the Tusayan Ruins and Museum feels like the next best spot to check out. 8. Tusayan Ruins and Museum. Tucked away on the south rim is a little historical gem called the Tusayan Ruins that tells a tale as deep as the canyon itself. Discovered near Desert View, these ruins offer a fascinating peek into the lives of the ancestral Puebloan people who settled around the area back in 1185 CE. The story of the Tusayan ruins really kicks off with their unearthing during an ambitious survey in the early 20th century. By 1920, archaeologists led by the notable Harold S. Gladwin were piecing together the puzzle of early human habitation in the Grand Canyon for the National Park Service. They weren't merely digging around for fun, they were on a mission to preserve a slice of history for all of us to learn from. Imagine their excitement in the 1930s when Gladwin and his crew started excavating and unearthed a quaint Puebloan village. The site featured a kiva, which is a ceremonial room, along with storage rooms and living spaces. The structures, crafted from sandstone and adobe, showcase some pretty advanced building techniques for their time. It's clear these folks were tightly knit, with a strong emphasis on agriculture and spiritual life. Now, the artifacts they found? Absolutely telling. We're talking pottery shards, stone tools, and even bits of corn, beans, and squash. These remnants hinted that the Puebloans were experts in dry farming, counting on those seasonal rains to nurture their crops. And the pottery wasn't just functional, it was adorned with intricate designs that really spoke to the artistic flair and cultural richness of these ancient peoples. But they also found materials like turquoise and obsidian, which hint at a trade network stretching beyond the Grand Canyon. It's impressive how connected these Native American cultures were across the Southwest. To keep all these incredible finds safe and sound, the Tusayan Museum was set up in 1935 right near the dig site. Designed to mirror a traditional Puebloan building, it houses many of the unearthed treasures. For anyone visiting, it offers a real window into the ancestral Puebloans' day-to-day life, traditions, and beliefs. With such a rich narrative captured alongside one of America's most famous natural sites, the Grand Canyon keeps surprising us. 9. Vishnu Temple, Grand Canyon. If you ever find yourself standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon, you surely cannot miss one standout feature: Vishnu Temple, a towering peak that rises to an impressive 7,533 feet. It's not just another rock formation, it's a behemoth that rises about 4,900 feet above the swirling waters of the Colorado River, presenting a breathtaking spectacle from the Cape Royal overlook on the North Rim. The story behind the name of this majestic peak is as intriguing as its presence. Back in 1880, geologist Clarence Dutton took one look at this structure, with its towering height and stately form, and thought it resembled an oriental pagoda. Inspired, he named it after Vishnu, a Hindu deity celebrated as the preserver of the universe. This sparked a naming trend across the Grand Canyon, with many features being named after mythological figures. The official nod to Vishnu Temple came in 1906 when the U.S. Board on Geographic Names made it official. Let's talk about a real adventure though. The first people to ever climb Vishnu Temple, Merrill Clubb, and his son, achieved this feat on July 13, 1945. Imagine the challenge they faced, pushing their way to the summit of such a formidable peak. The peak itself is a geological layer cake. At the very top, you find the cream-colored Coconino sandstone, which formed about 265 million years ago from ancient sand dunes. Below that, there's a lineup of geological history: the Hermit Formation, the Supai Group, Redwall Limestone, Tonto Group, and right at the bottom, the Unkar Group. Each layer tells a story of time passing, of landscapes changing, and it's not just about rocks. The rainfall on Vishnu Temple has its own paths, flowing into the Colorado River via Vishnu Creek on the west and Unkar Creek on the east, each drop contributing to the river that has carved this monumental canyon. The Grand Canyon's tradition of drawing from mythology to name its magnificent formations really shows how these natural giants have been more than just rock and river. They're a bridge to our past, real or imagined. And speaking of bridging past and present, have you heard about the Shasta ground sloth? 10. The remains of Shasta ground sloth. In the 1930s, explorers stumbled upon something extraordinary in the depths of the Grand Canyon's Rampart Cave, the fossilized remnants of the Shasta ground sloth. Not your average sloth, mind you. This prehistoric creature was as big as a bear, stretching up to 9 feet long and tipping the scales at over 500 pounds. The saga began in July 1936 when geologist Edward Schenck, alongside archaeologist Mark Raymond Harrington, took to the cave's dusty recesses on a tip from Willis Evans, a civilian Conservation Corps foreman with a knack for spotting such treasures. What they unearthed was nothing short of a paleontological goldmine. Hundreds of fossils, including bones, fur, and heaps of dung left behind by these massive sloths. The cave's arid conditions were a historian's dream, preserving these ancient materials with impeccable detail. Particularly fascinating was the sloth dung. Yes, this prehistoric poop layered thick on the cave floor, offering a direct snapshot into the diet and daily life of the Shasta ground sloth. These giant herbivores munched on a varied buffet of desert globe mallow, cacti, and yucca. Fast forward to 1942, and further digs under the guidance of Remington Kellogg from the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of Natural History brought even more fossils to light. Tragically, though, the cave's scientific treasure trove met a grim fate in 1976, when vandals sparked a fire that destroyed about 70% of these invaluable dung deposits. Despite this setback, the discoveries at Rampart Cave have been crucial in piecing together not just the life of the Shasta ground sloth, but also the broader ancient ecosystem of the Grand Canyon. Evidence suggests that these sloths may have used the cave as a cozy retreat or a nursery, given the numerous young sloth bones found. And it wasn't just sloths. Fossils of tortoises, lizards, and birds also paint a vibrant picture of the Pleistocene era's bustling wildlife community. And that's all about the mysterious doorway in the Grand Canyon that has scientists scratching their heads and sparking endless theories. Which part of this discovery amazed you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and share any similar discoveries you've heard about. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories and discoveries. We've got more exciting content on the way, so stay tuned. Until our next video, take care and thank you for watching.